4 years ago, I decided to start making videos on my YouTube channel. And they were all speed draws, but quickly I gave up on that idea because just watching me draw really fast didn't seem that interesting. But I still wanted to make videos. I just had to come up with an idea that was unique or interesting enough, and that I thought that it would be fun to do. And 4 years later, I realized that none of that really matters. If I wanted to make a video, I should just do whatever the hell I think is fun to do. So here I am again in 2024, drawing the exact same thing I drew in 2019. Since this is a redraw, I still wanted to keep the vibe of the old one, but I did want to update the poses because the old ones look really boring. I wanted to make them more fun and a little bit more expressive. The pose for the Blue Knight is definitely the one that changed the most. I didn't really like how he's just standing there with a crystal in his hand, even though back then I remember I was really proud of that crystal. But nowadays it's just, it doesn't look that great, man. I'm sorry, past me. I also wanted to change the Green Knight's pose, but spoilers, it'll look just like the old one by the end of the video. I just like it a lot. I changed the Red Knight's pose to be more like he's jumping down instead of just floating, so it looks like he's actually fighting something or doing a cool action pose. I have to expand his head here because I made it way too short. These guys have huge heads, man. I also added the side things on this helmet and the line on top of it. I don't know why I didn't add that to the old version. I thought about giving them gauntlets and boots, but I decided that's a bit much. I think I'll just make it very simple. I also tried to add a scarf to Red there. I don't know if you spotted that, but then I realized I probably shouldn't redesign them too much. I made the lightning very simple too. I think I overdid it a bit on the old one. I also tried adding these red parts to the lightning, but I didn't think it worked too well, so I just gave it a basic glow. It looks nice as is anyway. And this is something I have never done before actually. I colored the line art inside of the character a lighter color, and I think it looks nice. Moving on to the Orange Knight, I changed up his pose so it looks more like he's jumping up with his fire. I decided to change his expression too, because I don't know why I gave him those eyes in the old one. And by this point, I wasn't a big fan of how I did the arms, so I wanted to change them a bit, but nothing that I did felt right, so I just left it as is. I played around a bit with the fire to figure out what I wanted to look like, but I kept the same feeling of the old one where it's just like this blast of fire. Like I said earlier, I wasn't that big of a fan of the pose I did for the Blue Knight, so I changed it a bit. I kept the pose fairly similar, but the effect is the biggest part that changed. You'll see later, I promise. I decided to remove the eye glow I gave him on the old one. I'm not sure why. I think I just see the Blue Knight as more cool and mysterious, and I think removing his eyes just makes him cooler. And this is what I meant by changing the magic. The one crystal was kinda lame to look at, and I don't know why I gave him like snow powers on the other hand, even though he never uses snow in the game. So I gave him this cool like arching ice thing, and I think it looks so much better. And lastly, we have the Green Knight. And this one was by far the quickest one I made. Probably because his pose isn't that complicated. And by this point, I already had figured out how I wanted to draw them. So it was pretty straightforward. And honestly, out of all these guys I drew, he might be the coolest looking one. I know, he's very simple looking, but like, he just looks so cool, man. I might turn into a Green Knight main after this. And yep, here it is. Remember when I said I was gonna change the pose by the end of the video? I made it look exactly like the old one, because I just think it's perfect. It is very basic to just stand there with your hand up, but I don't know, it just works. Whenever I look back into these drawings, I always liked how simple the gas clouds look, so I decided to keep the same aesthetic and just make them like big blobs. And that was it. I had a lot of fun drawing these guys again, and I hope that this very light commentary was interesting enough to hear. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I still want to make more videos, but for now, those stay as very simple things I just want to make. They won't be all speed draws, I have a few other ideas I want to try on, but I'm very excited to make new stuff again. As you may have noticed, my art has definitely improved over the years, but I still kept my art style the same. I really like drawing stickmen, I think they're fun to draw, I like drawing them. I don't think it's that unique, but I don't know, I like it. And because they're so simple, there's not really much to talk about, so maybe at least it was fun to watch the process, I guess. I still draw a lot. If you want to see more of my art, I have a Newgrounds account, it's in the description, and that's the only place I post anything. Anyway, that was it. See you later. Bye bye.